Man, Many Face Publishing, man. What's happening, people? How's everything today? All right, man. So, man, sad news from the Broncos. No Bo Nix. Could be no Super Bowl. They beat the Buffalo Bills. That was a tough game. Very tough game, very good game, and there was a lot of key plays being made in that game. Key turnovers. I believe Buffalo, they committed 5 turnovers, and people still, even though Josh Allen, I think he had 3 or 4 turnovers, um, he still kept them in the game. They stayed, actually had the lead, and I was on my way to giving up on them. Like, come on, man, they gonna blow this game, man. And then they got that interception that he took out the hands. I believe it was Cooks. That was one of the pivotal points of the game. One of the early pivotal points of the game was the fumble by Cook, the running back. He fumbled the ball and they was on their way to score. That was a big play in the game because they could have went up. I think they could have went up maybe by double digits. I think they were up 7-3, and they had a chance to maybe go up 14-3. And he fumbled the ball, and that kind of turned the tide right there. But Bo Nix, played a good game. Sean Payton called a good offensive game. That was a very good game, man, and went down to the wire, and a lot of controversy. But a lot of people are on. At first they weren't really saying much about Josh Allen, but some sorry, I'm sitting and listening to Judge Mathis, but yeah, man, like Josh Allen, he like I said, he needs a slot receiver. Like they fired the coach, and I don't know if that was the right idea, but I get it. He's been there for a while. They haven't gotten over the hump, and I don't think they're confident with him that they will get over the hump, right? No problem. Firing him may not have been the answer, but who's going to get the coach? You know what I'm saying? Harbaugh's gone. I don't know if Tomlin's going to want to come out and coach. Who you guys going to get the coach? And you got to build a team around Josh Allen so that you don't put him in these positions to make so many mistakes and have to be such a hero all the time. And they don't have a pass rush like that. They got to bolster up the defense, and they have to, get him another slot receiver and another wideout. He needs the weapons around him because it's too many times he has to try to thread needles or force passes, and I don't think he has enough around him. But still got to get it done. And right now we're gonna play the Patriots, right? And they got to come to Mile High, which is a house of horrors for New England, a house of horrors for really anybody that comes to Denver. And the plaintiff, Victoria Cooper, the plaintiff, got the judgment. Hold me tight.
You broke my heart, and then you broke my heart.
Oh man, it's crazy. So, no one's giving Denver a chance, really. But Denver fans, we believe in Jarrett Stidham or whatever. I mean, I look at it like this, right? I was talking trash after the game. I didn't know Bo Nix got hurt, but I felt like if we won this game, they could go to the Super Bowl. I still think the Broncos can go to the Super Bowl. I think that Sean Payton, who's a master, he's definitely, they get to the Super Bowl and win. He's going down as one of the Shaolin masters of coaching. But he's a masterful coach, man. He knows how to, you know, make quarterbacks play better. He's done it. Remember Drew Brees when he came over there, he wasn't Drew Brees that we know of. He turned into the Drew Brees we know of being there. I think his first or second year they won the Super Bowl. So, you know, he helped transform Drew Brees' career under his coaching staffs, and he had James Winston career almost resurrected. He had Jason Taysom, whatever, Taysom Hill, that's his name. I'm sorry, Taysom Hill, whatever his name is. He had him looking like he could have got a good contract, like he was about to be a starter. It didn't pan out too well with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson didn't play that bad under him. But look what he's done with Bo Nix. Bo Nix wasn't a guy that many people thought was a starting quarterback in the NFL, and look at him. He's on his way to becoming a legend. And before this injury, but we're gonna see what Stidham is made of. Now, people say, well, backups have won before and stuff like that, but a lot of those backups, like Jeff Hostetler back in the days with the Giants, they were already playing throughout the season, so they had a rhythm going. They already, were already out there. Then you had what's my man name from the Eagles, man, Nick Foles. He was already playing. You know what I'm saying? Like Brock Osweiler or whatever. These guys were already playing throughout the season. Like Jarrett Stidham, he's coming into our lineup ice cold pretty much. He haven't played all season. It's the AFC Championship game. Like, it's not like, he's had some games under his belt, where, where he's comfortable, making throws and building any type of chemistry with these receivers. It's just kind of like on the go. So, we gotta hope he can stay healthy and make plays. And I'm sure Sean Payton's gonna draw up a great game plan for him. And we might get Dobbins back. So if the Broncos can get Dobbins, that bolsters the running game, and they're gonna need that against the Patriots. They're gonna have to run the ball, and they're gonna have to. Their defense is gonna have to keep this a 16-point game for the Broncos to win. I think if they can keep it anywhere with 16, they can to 20 points the most, they can win the game. They can win the game. You can't let Stidham fall behind. I think the key is getting an early touchdown and getting him the confidence. And the Patriots, I'm not too sold on them. They're a good team, but C.J. Stroud blew that game, man. I don't know what he was doing out there. He had a really bad game, and he didn't look well in that game. 4 turnovers, 4 interceptions. Like, come on, he handed them the game. The defense did all they could do to keep them in the game, but you can't, keep putting them in certain positions, pause, and expecting them to hold it down. Like, you're playing with disaster. Like, come on. So they, they didn't, they. Mathis is a funny dude. But so he gave that game away, man. I would have probably rather play Houston than them, because at least with Houston, they're not going to score too much. So it would have been a defensive struggle. Now with the Patriots, we still have a great defense out there. We still got Patrick Surtain and all those guys out there flying around. Look at Benito, all those guys. Trust me, they're going to cause problems. They're going to cause havoc out there, and they're going to have to. We cannot fall behind in this game. We have to keep them kicking field goals when they're in the red zone. We cannot give up touchdowns, and we have to keep this a 16-point game. at least, to have a chance. Just my prediction. I'm just a fan. Excuse me. And on the NFC side, Charbonnet gets hurt for Seattle. They blow out the 49ers. Sleepless nights, man. Like, it's hard to win in Seattle. Now they got the Rams coming to town. There's no Charbonnet. They're gonna see how this plays out, man. That's a big L for them, man. You know, I don't know how they're gonna overcome that. Sam Darnold, their defense is gonna have to step up. I think if their defense, if they can get a lead early, and I'm talking about a decent lead, get up 20, 21, 3. 21, sorry. 21, 20, they can get up by 2 or more touchdowns early. I think the defense can, pin their ears back and just come after the quarterback. And I think it'll be too difficult for the Rams to overcome, even though the Rams have one of the best offenses in the league, if not the best. I think that if you let the Rams hang around and it's a close game, and Stafford get that ball last, they're in trouble. I think the only chance Seattle really has is to blow them out and get an early lead and put their foot on their necks. But if they let the Rams hang around, they're probably going to lose the game because the Rams have the better playmakers out there on offense, and they probably have the better quarterback in Matthew Stafford. Sam Darnold will have to have a hell of a game for them to win. But that's why we watch the games, like my friend says at work. That's why we watch, man. And to the NBA, man, Jimmy Butler tore his ACL. He's out for the season. And it's unfortunate because it looked like Golden State was starting to play well. They're 25-19. They were just under 500 a couple of weeks ago, I think. And, they were starting to play well. And it's very unfortunate he got hurt. Who they play tonight? I forgot who they play tonight. I know whoever they play tonight is 20. I think they play Toronto. And they're 25-19 as well. Decent record for right now. That's a good record for Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially based on the expectations they had. I don't think they were expected to do much this season. But damn, Steph Curry now, it's all on him again, man. Like, they haven't really done a good job building around Steph Curry. He's an older player. You should have built some young players around him that could take, some of the pressure off of him having to, have these nuclear games. But we'll see what happens. And this is why we watch the games. Lakers play tonight. They played the Denver Nuggets on the road. The Nuggets have been okay without Jokic. And let's see what happens tonight. The Lakers have the superstar advantage. So let's see if they can play well tonight. They haven't been consistent, since the return of who. They've been up and down. Defensively they haven't been competitive defensively. It's just crazy, man. But it is what it is, man. Well, the Knicks got embarrassed at home, booed off the court yesterday. These Jekyll and Hyde teams, man, I tell you, man. One day you're hot, one day you're cold. You gotta be consistent, man. And I remember everybody was talking all this OKC shit, right, in the beginning. Oh, it's not fair. The season's gonna be boring, all of this shit. And they were only like maybe 20, 22 games in the season. Now, OKC, they're still the best team in the league, but you got some other teams that got something to say. It's not just cut and dry. They're gonna win the championship. Because now you got, not saying that the Clippers are contenders, but they're playing good basketball. Detroit's playing good basketball. You know, it's who else playing good ball, man? The Nuggets is playing good ball. Now imagine they get Jokic back and they continue to ball out. So it's not just a given. Houston is out there. They got Durant. They got Ime Udoka. You got a good head coach. And you got and he has a nice team. That listens to him and he can actually coach them. You be in trouble, man. You know what I'm saying? Like so. It ain't just cut and dry. They're gonna win the championship. But they definitely the best team. But they lost their guy Williams. I think he's done for at least most of the year. I forgot the exact extent of his injury, but he's done, man. What are they gonna do? You don't have your second leading scorer, but they were winning games in the beginning of the season. But see now we're getting towards the All-Star break. A lot of people, speaking of that, a lot of people they don't want LeBron out there, man. Can you blame him? This is a man that bullshitted around last year, didn't even play, and even suit up. Like, he disrespected the All-Star game. I don't think he should play. He's a reserve. I really don't think he should play based off the disrespect. You telling your team don't listen to Larry Bird and all this shit. Like, you totally destroyed the All-Star game. All this picking teams and all. Come on, man. All this shit because of this dude, dude. They didn't have to do none of this prior to this era. To his, when I'm talking about the era when he started. Once he became once Kobe and after Kobe retired and after he right before he retired, that's when the league really started to change. When it became really LeBron's league fully after 2030, it's just been. It was about super teams and everybody joining forces and then now it's like then it was the low management and guys skipping games and all this shit and and it's the All-Star break. Like, dudes don't want to play in the All-Star game. Nobody want to get in the dunk contest. They look at the All-Star game as a privilege for us to watch. Like, man, we are paying. If there is no fans, y'all not gonna make any money, man. Don't disrespect the fans, man. Because if we not checking for the games, y'all not gonna make any money. So, guy disrespects fans. He just has a real negative. To me, it's just everything around him is just drama. Causing drama at the All-Star games. Like, I don't even think they should let him play. But if I was the Lakers, I would have sat his fucking ass down. Like, yo, fam, you're not even playing, dude. Take your money and go. But I don't have $52 million to waste. Neither do the Lakers. But I mean, you got to pay him anyway. Guys come in now. Look at Austin Reeves. So is he really hurt or is he just sitting out? I don't get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think this guy just brings drama everywhere he's gone, man. Dreams Pro said it, Too Raw TV, Ticket said it, everybody said it, Casino says it, Kwame Brown says it. They all say it, man. Like, yo, fam, you just bring problems everywhere you go. The defender, man, tight. Jeff Morgan, your claim's been dismissed, man. Yeah, it is.
Why'd you gotta play me for a couch?
Couch might stink now anyways.
Oh, shoot. Damn. This couch probably stink now. Damn. That's some bitter shit, man. But anyway, man. That was some bitter shit, B. But, yeah, man. Let's see what happens in the league, man. In the way, like I said, right now, OKC should still be the favorites, but it ain't for certain they're gonna win. Timberwolves, they're a piece away from being a champion. I believe they really need you need a point guard out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Julius Randle, to me, he's a great player, but he doesn't complement Ant-Man's game. Ant-Man needs a defender out there, somebody that can defend and that's a two-way player, but a great defender. And they got to get more shooters around him. Maybe get a point guard. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we haven't seen a real traditional point guard in so long. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who's in the traditional point guards the last, I say, 10 years? You know, like a Chris Paul, like a Jason Kidd type guys, like, floor generals. I think that's what Anthony Edwards needs. He needs a floor general out there, and he needs like a two-way player wingman. That's more defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they'll be a good team. They'll be a tough team to beat. You know, but we're gonna see what happens, man. We're gonna see what happens, man. And I think next week we got that Teofimo Shakur fight. That's gonna be a good fight, man. Like I said before, it's gonna depend on what Teofimo Lopez shows up. So I feel like I feel like Shakur, like I said, he's the technical guy. He got the defense. He's the boxer, right? He's more technical with it. But when you look at Tio he's a more looser fighter. He's more elusive. He uses a lot of head movement. Pause. He's got a good jab. He's got good footwork. And he has the power. And he has discipline when he's focused. It comes in with a game plan, right? And what I'm hoping that don't happen is Shakur underestimates his skill set. I think that his skills is just so superior that he's just gonna go in there and just outclass this guy like that. Because I think if I'm Tio, you may want to keep it a boxing match to a certain extent. Make him try to come forward. You know what I'm saying? Make him come forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, and have to be an aggressor, because at the end of the day, right, Shakur, he in order for him to take that next level and be a pay-per-view star, you gotta impress, you gotta impress the fans. Because you want the fans to talk about you, man. Like, not saying that he has to go out there and go kamikaze, but he may have to be a little more aggressive in this fight and go for a knockout, try to hurt Tio real bad and really put a beating and hurting on him. And I believe that if he can do that, that will catapult him into being a pay-per-view star. And if he goes out there and just tries to box and it's a boring fight, you're gonna, you're gonna win. But are you gonna win? Are you gonna catapult your career to that next level? Yeah, you're gonna definitely prove you're the better fighter and a better boxer. But are you, winning impressive? May, to me, I'm just a fan, catapult his career to people wanting to pay for his fights. Because after Tio, who's your next main attraction? Tank heading in the game right now. Only other bigger fight is Devin Haney. And if you want to really build that fight, if you beat the brace off Teofimo Lopez, get a stoppage or put him down a couple times, like hurt him, that boosts that fight crazy. You know what I'm saying? If you just box Tio, and the way Devin fights, it's not gonna boost that fight even if you win, because like all we're gonna go in there and see is a boxing match, which Shakur's probably gonna win. But that's why they get in the ring. But if T.O. goes in there and tries to be too aggressive, he's gonna get countered a lot, because you're gonna play right into Shakur's hands of Matador. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Shakur may have to take the fight to T.O. And if I'm T.O., I would welcome that. You know, because that'll allow him to try to land some counter shots. You know, and use his elusiveness to potentially, you know, win this fight and maybe frustrate Shakur a little bit. But Shakur's technical skills, I don't see him really getting too frustrated. I see him being surgical. It's a tough fight, man. There's no other real fights that I can think of that's gonna happen right now that, you know, we can clamor about. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we got Boots at 154, but we're not hearing nothing. Like, what is going on with boxing, man? When I said that this shit, that, you know, we're not getting the fights, man. Everything is just pay-per-view shit, man. We need to get the only channel that's showing fights is the Zone. Where are the fights? We're not seeing them advertised. Like, Amazon should be posting more fights, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't we getting the fights, man? I know there's a lot behind the scenes that happen for these fights to happen, but damn, we're not getting no fights, man. Like, that I know of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we can't see these fighters get built up. Like, who? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Boxing? Some ESPN fights, no USA fights, no PBC fights on like Fox and none of that shit. Like, we need to see, you know, some of these up and coming fighters. We need to see some boxing, man. Like, I haven't seen boxing in a minute, man. It's like, yo, if I'm not, if you don't have the Zone, which I have the Zone, but I'm not subscribed right now. I'm not seeing any boxing. Like, come on, man. I said that pay-per-view shit, man. It wasn't just pay-per-view itself. What I was saying, it was these fighters. A lot of these fighters, they were building their careers based off of pay-per-view. Like, if I win this belt and I beat this one guy, I'm a star, and now I can demand pay-per-view numbers. And it's like, you're not really a pay-per-view fighter. Like, pay-per-view was supposed to be based off of demand, like, you know, like WrestleMania was pay-per-view, like, you know, because that was a big event. Like, pay-per-view was supposed to be like a big event, like Sugar Ray, Marvin Hagler, big event, man. Tyson Holyfield, that was a highly anticipated fight, big event. Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya, big event. Yo, these fights, Canelo versus Avenue Dunn, Spence versus Garcia, like, just to name some fights, man. Those are good fights, man. But I don't know if they were like fights that we had to see, like, that were worth paying for, man. Like that, Tank versus Roach. Like, that's not really a pay-per-view fight, man. Like, that's not some fight that fans, you know, like, we want to see this fight. But pay-per-view got so watered down, you know what I'm saying, that and got so common, you know, and then they're losing money because, you know, a lot of fighters are going to stream these fights for free off these websites, you know, and a lot of people are not going to buy these fights, so the numbers are always going to stay at certain range, especially if the fight is not like a main attraction, like a Canelo. He's, because of who he is, he'll probably always sell pay-per-view fights. Mike Tyson, he's going to sell pay-per-view fight, man, like, because that's he's a main attraction. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather, definitely. main attraction, man. He was also getting knockouts. A lot of these guys too, and that's why I said to elevate your status for people wanting to pay to see you fight, right, and clamoring to see you fight, you had to get some knockouts. You had to have some exciting fights. Like we could say that with guys like Tyson, Holyfield, Canelo. They had some dramatic fights, man. Pernell Whitaker, De La Hoya, you know, we needed to see some, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hagler, we needed to see like, them go through some adversity. We needed to see some action in the fights, man, some knockouts and shit like that. Like we seen Mayweather get some knockouts. We seen all these guys get knockouts, stoppages, and being some dramatic fights. You know what I'm saying? And they were fighting highly anticipated fights. You know what I'm saying? It just, over time, it just got watered down. The Manny Pacquiao, some of his fights, like him versus Timothy Bradley, like that was a fight. He was a heavy favorite in that fight. That wasn't no highly anticipated fight, but because of Manny Pacquiao built his name, he was able to fight majority of his fights on pay-per-view. All the Tyson fights weren't pay-per-view fights. You had HBO fights and shit. And that's nothing. There's no more fights on HBO, no more Showtime fights. So we're just not. Now how you gonna build these new fighters without networks? I don't know, I'm just a fan, man. Just asking questions, man. I'm gonna let y'all go though, man. So I'm gonna try to get some grub, man. Many Face Publishing. I'm out, man. Peace.